Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kieran. I hope you guys are having a good day. I wanted to share this video with you because I've noticed a trend in the twin flame community and also with just, I think, a lot of spiritual labels and a lot of love connections. And that trend is this. I'll put it in a simple phrase, and this is what so many twin flame, I guess, teachers, you would call them, if such a thing really is real, twin flame teachers. I mean, how much can you really teach? But in any case, there was one thing that they would always tell me, and it was basically this summarized. It was your masculine, or at the time, right? Your twin, your counterpart, your divine counterpart. You need to wait for them to awaken, Kieran. Right? You need to wait for them to get to the point where you're at. You need to wait for them to go through their spiritual awakening and to meet you. And that's what they told me every time that I would ask a question or purchase a reading or something when I was dealing with a false twin. And for those of you who are not aware, just for layman's terms, just somebody that I thought I had a special connection with. And I didn't, okay? It's really no different than what happens to most people throughout life. There's just that extra spiritual detail or level to it, okay? But that's not the point of this video. But in any case, just for lack of a better term, false twin flame, I thought that I was in that kind of relationship, right? And it could have been about any relationship that never worked out, but just so happened that it was that particular woman in my life at that time, okay? So the idea with that was that I believed that that information was correct. I believed that if I could wait, if I could stop, if I could pause and just sort of take a moment to say, okay, let them awaken, let them get to the point where I'm at, let me continue on my spiritual journey, let me keep ascending, right? And then a whole bunch of stuff happened, and I even have videos on that even particular relationship, so I'm not going to go into all the details of what happened, but suffice to say, found out not my twin, didn't really resonate anymore, I moved on, grew up, got wise, whatever. And I look back now, okay, this is about 2.5 years later. I look back now, and I say to myself, well, wait a minute, if you're waiting for someone to wake up, what happens when they do? What happens when that person, usually a man, because I know most of you who watch are female, but when you wait on the other person, what happens when they wake up? What will they go through? Because then I looked at my own awakening, and I looked at myself and I went, oh, wait. My own spiritual awakening was not easy. And I have yet to meet somebody who went through a spiritual awakening, some kind of spiritual revelation, some kind of ascension process. There's lots of little fancy words, whatever, but went through some kind of deep introspective spiritual journey, usually catalyzed by something. For me, it was that relationship. For others, could be a death of a family member, could be a near-death experience, could be an overdose, anything, but it's a catalyst of some kind, almost as if like a midlife or quarter-life crisis, something that occurs and changes you, puts you on a different path, right? So a spiritual awakening. What happened to me? I wasn't ready for anything when I woke up. Woke up, doesn't, but whenever I went through spiritual awakening, I wasn't ready for any relationship. I wasn't ready for anything. I wasn't ready for my dream job. I wasn't even ready to find out the stuff that I wanted to do. I mean, when I first awakened, I didn't even find half of the passions that I have now. I certainly didn't find the creative idea to do tarot or to get in touch with that side of myself. That took 6 months to get into the idea of even starting a YouTube channel from what I consider the point of my new origin, okay, the point of my spiritual awakening journey, its beginning, right, which I believe kind of started between late 2017, early 2018, and then, I didn't find YouTube until, really until, again, like till summer 2018, so it was like 5 or 6, 7 months even, before I was even ready for that idea, okay? And I didn't find some lover or some amazing relationship in that time, okay? I was just gaining information, gaining wisdom. So any of you who've been on a spiritual awakening journey, regardless of if you resonate with a twin flame relationship at all, if you think it's nonsense, or if you're just not interested, or maybe you don't feel like you have one, in any case, you may have noticed that your journey did not go start and then awesome, 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 and you just keep getting better and wiser and greater and smarter and more intelligent, more compassionate and more full of empathy and more wiser and seeing all the things and then having all these reveals and contacting spirit guides and just becoming a better version of yourself. No, that's not what happened, right? What happened on your spiritual awakening journey is you went like this, then you went like that, you went like that, and then you went like that, and then it just keeps going. And the idea over time is that these dips stop getting so far apart, and then you can kind of go within this little equilibrium to find more of like a heartbeat, like you would find on like a monitor at the hospital. The name eludes me now, but I know you know what I'm talking about. You know, beep, beep, right? You find like a nice little level, right? So you get a little one, not all over the place, right? And that's kind of the idea. The awakening starts at a point and then it goes like this. And I remember feeling that. And then you kind of go down here into that like dark night of the soul. You come back up and maybe you go back down. But the idea is that it isn't a very linear process, and it often involves going back into mindsets and habits and addictions and ways of being and even conditioned patterns with a new awareness, granted, so that you can kind of heal them properly, but but still allowing you to go into those things with the same sort of things you've always been doing, and you don't feel very good, and you kind of wonder, I thought I was supposed to be farther along than this. So, in summary, as a larger point, because I don't want to prattle on about the whole awakening process, the idea is that it took a little time, and it still may be taking time, and you still may be going through it. I'm still going through it. I get more aware every day. I get wiser. I try my best, but some days I don't do very good. Some days it can be hard. Some days, like the other day, I had like 7 Snickers bars. That's a lot of Snickers, guys. Now, they were mini Snickers, so that's probably like the equivalent of like a full Snickers or 2 Snickers bars. But anyway, the point was I didn't feel good after, okay? Physically, let alone, but emotionally, yeah, I was like, Jesus, Kieran, what the hell? Because that's kind of how I grew up, was on candy and chocolate and not really food that was sustaining. So my relationship with food throughout my life was pretty bad. It's gotten a lot better, actually. And that's the whole point of the awakening, is you kind of find it. It teaches you a good lesson, but it takes a while, especially if you're a stubborn person like me, who takes I have to learn things my own way, and nobody can really tell me how to learn, okay? I'm a firm believer that most of the answers that you need lie within you, and that you can lead towards other people who may help you, but in any case, it's your own intuition guiding you. So I'm a very strong believer in the personal empowerment. That seems to be what my journey has been a constant rebirth over and over and over again to get me closer to whatever power and love actually exists within me, which is a difficult process, and that's, I believe, at the core of everybody's spiritual awakening. So back to the point of this video, if a spiritual awakening takes time, drags on and on, often hurts you and causes you to revert back to things, even with a new layer of awareness, and is not a linear process, and doesn't mean that you're going to suddenly make all the right choices or commit to people that you may even love, because you might not even know how deep that goes, then what makes you think that just because your divine masculine or your twin flame awakens that they're suddenly going to choose you? There's no guarantee, and there is no obligation to do so on either end. So if you find yourself waiting for your twin to awaken, and you firmly believe that your twin just has to awaken, and that as soon as they do that, it's all going to be peachy, and they'll finally be able to commit to you, like they just have to get their perspective, they just have to open up their mind. No, that doesn't work like that. My mind has been opened more times than the majority of people that I've met, and I still have days where I'm just being a complete dum-dum with my time, my energy, okay? And that's not fun, okay? It doesn't make me feel good, and the idea is to, of course, eradicate those moments, right? And I get closer and I get better. And that's fine, and that's good also, and I think you guys also get better as well if you resonate with this awakening process, right? Just the ups and downs of it, I guess. But the idea is that if you're waiting for them to awaken, you're going to be very disappointed, and you're going to be waiting a very long time, because I've been on this journey for 3+ years, I suppose, and that I mean, I don't own my own home, right? That would be a nice dream of mine to have, would be, to be able to have an apartment in a place that I want to live, or a home in a place that I want to live, but I don't. So, does that make me worse or better? Maybe not necessarily, but it does mean that I still have a ways to go to get to that thing. Okay, and that could happen next week, could happen next month, could happen a year from now. The truth is, I don't know, and that's kind of the whole point. So you don't know if your twin awakening, their perception changing, them opening up, like, oh, they're my twin flame. That's not gonna help, because even if somebody woke up to the fact that quite possibly you were your twin flame, they might see your twin flame relationship very differently. Because in case you guys haven't wondered, or in case you guys haven't noticed yet, not wondered, people don't believe in twin flames. Regular people, yeah, obviously, but also spiritual people, people who go through an awakening process, right? You don't see Eckhart Tolle or Sadhguru or any of these other people. Moshi, I think his name is it Moshi? Mogi? I forget. But you don't see any of those people talking about twin flames. And in fact, a lot of spiritual people in a lot of communities, they don't go on talking about twin flames because they're not really in that relationship, and it doesn't mean that they don't believe in them. It's just that they're not focusing in on that. That's not their thing. Okay, so there's some objectivity to it, that you have to kind of be objective about all these things, because if there's a doubt about something like this, and I'm not telling you to doubt your own relationship, you should to some degree doubt everything. That's the kind of idea about growth. You doubt. It doesn't mean that you find out lies about yourself, but you can grow easily when you don't just accept a bunch of information willingly. But like even me, right? I don't want you to leave this video and think that what I'm saying is absolutely true, that you need to listen to me. I just hope that it helps and that it resonates. Because the idea here, guys, is that if something like the twin flame connection is open to interpretation, is my point, then their perspective is open to interpretation, your masculine, your twin flame. So even if they awaken, even if they resonate with the idea of twin flame, they might not see it in the same way. Because there's people out here that think a twin flame is toxic. There's people out here that are in the worst relationships of their life and are looking towards tarot readers, people like me, to justify that connection for them. To let them know, hey, is this my twin flame? Because I'd really like to keep loving this person, even though he's been in a relationship with another woman for 3 years and hasn't talked to me since. But you know what? That guy's my twin. Like, that's what it does to people. That's what this label does to people. And if you're watching this video and you got to this point right now, you may be kind of triggered. You may be thinking, well, I'm in that kind of situation, but I know he's my twin. And to that I say, good luck, because there is nothing worse than consistently waiting on something to change that never has evidence of doing so. And it doesn't have to be a relationship. It could be people in your life. It could be friends. The idea is there's lots of examples in life where waiting on something to change doesn't work, because it has to come kind of from within, like real change. You have to decide to do something differently, or think a different way, or just behave a different way, and that's an internal process that has very little to do with the outside. Like, yeah, you can be more disciplined, you can eat better, you can drink more water, you can do all those things, and you know that you should do all those things. You're not an idiot. The idea is that it's an emotional problem often. It's a spiritual type of thing. It's a new way of behaving, new way of organizing yourself, and that's an internal process, and it often happens only from places of great pain or great depths. Okay, even if those depths are joy, great depths usually change your character in some way. Okay, challenges, obstacles push you, and they help you expand. Right. So if you're waiting on someone, if you're waiting on your masculine to awaken, you're going to be waiting a long time, because they might not even think the same way that you do. I mean, there are spiritual people out there, people that are awakened, people that are just helping people, right? It doesn't matter if I agree with them or not, but there's people out there that are channeling beings of whatever, okay? There's one guy on YouTube I used to watch a lot, Phil Good, maybe you've heard of him. He channels something called the Nine, okay? I don't know what that is. I don't care. I don't resonate. I don't understand. You know, you channeling a group of species, alien species, some starseed type of stuff. I don't know. You know what I mean? That's not my thing. And I can't say to you guys, hey, that's a bunch of ridiculous crap. I can't. You know what I mean? I can't say that, and I'm not going to, because he's just a good guy trying to help people. You know what I mean? And I don't know, right? There's people that believe in Atlantis and that they're like mermaids going, you know. What am I supposed to do with that information? That's not my thing. I try to be very spiritually objective and objective about most things in life. There's very little truth that I hold on to, and the ones that I do tend to hold on to, oftentimes I find out to be just nothing more than the ego trying to control things, right? A version of myself trying to control things. So the point of this message, guys, is that waiting for someone to awaken is not going to magically fix your relationship. It's not going to make them come back to you. It's not going to make them any more in love with you. And it's not going to make you happier. Just for them to awaken, just for them to recognize something, because you could still be waiting years and years and years, and that's just still something that you would even have to ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it worth to wait 10 years on someone? If you knew that the person you're interested in, hey, they're going to be ready for you, but let's just say you're a 28-year-old female, and, you know, you've been in love with somebody, this person, for 3 years now, and if somebody said, hey, well, when you're 40, they're going to come back around, you guys are going to have a relationship. What are you supposed to do for 12 years? Just not get in a relationship, not have sex, not pursue your dreams, not try to meet somebody? And this is how life is. And we rely on things like readers and teachers and clairvoyances and twin flame relationships and labels in order to it's just control. It's just more control. But the truth is, you don't know. What were people doing before these concepts came out? They were just living their life, and people are still living their life. You can be a sad Christian, a happy Christian, a loving atheist, an angry atheist. You can be an awakened soul believing in none of this stuff and just living happily and at peace in the moment. You can identify more with science and be happy. You can identify more with science and be sad. There's so many ways to live your life, and it hardly matters about what labels and truths you attach yourself to on the outside, because those can change, and you know that's what happens. You get older, things change. So the idea here, guys, cut this off a little bit before it gets to 20 minutes here, is that I don't want you guys to wait. I don't want you guys to wait on somebody to awaken, because from my own personal experience, 3 years is just taking me to get to this point, and I still don't have the things that I want, and I still struggle sometimes, and lots of other people do. I'm not trying to be filled with self-pity, and I'm actually quite proud of myself for a lot of stuff that I've accomplished. But in any case, I wouldn't have accomplished those things if I wasn't awakened, but the majority of that journey didn't take me to a love relationship, okay? And if you know anything about twin flames, do you know that often you can enter into a love relationship and then you get separated sometimes, right? Like separation, especially now with COVID, there's a lot of separation going on just from regular people. So I just don't want you guys to wait. This isn't a video in order to demonize anything or to make fun of you guys or anything like that. I'm not trying to judge. I just don't want you guys to think that if your masculine suddenly awakens, that your relationship is going to be good to go, because it's not. That's not a guarantee of anything. It's just a perception change, and I've had many of them. I've had ego death before. I've experienced it twice, and all of your issues don't go away. You don't just suddenly get healed. Okay, that's not how that works. There's no real shortcuts. Okay, so I hope this video helped. I just wanted to bring some awareness to you guys. Again, don't take my word as the gospel. I'm just a person, right? I'm just sharing my wisdom from what I understand. But in any case, you guys do what you feel is necessary and live your life in the way that you feel is helpful towards you. I just hope this information can assist you in your own journey. Okay, guys, I hope you have a great weekend. I'm going on a little vacation to do some music stuff, and we'll talk soon, hopefully next week. Okay, guys, bye-bye.